ကျွန်တော်စလိုက်အောင်နော်
ဟုတ်ဆရာရှင်းလိုက်တော့
မင်္ဂလာပါ good evening our colleague from Thailand Dr. Dumrong and our colleague from Myanmar as well as honorable guest from Myanmar Livestock Federation. This is we are very happy that you are joining our knowledge sharing program. Our knowledge sharing program has been started since I think 1.5 years ago. And then I myself and Dr. Tingwei, Dr. Tingwei are also working as a advisor in the Golden Plain Livelihood Local NGO. So we have been every Saturday we have been that program as a sharing of the knowledge from agriculture, animal production, livestock science, forestry, environment, education, etc. So this is also first time from our colleague from abroad. Dr. Dumrong is the first person from abroad. He is working. He is going to give the presentation. He has been visiting to our country many times. He visited our university as well as University of Veterinary Science, I think. Also, I visited Major University. I met with him and other colleagues from Major University. I have visited Kasasa University many times, I think. And unlike Thailand, university in Thailand, they have a comprehensive university. In our country, we don't have a comprehensive approach. So agriculture is under crop sector in the Yezin Agriculture University. Veterinary science and animal production is our neighboring university. Although we know each other, we are not able to cross enrollment or something like that. So that's why this is one of the idea with us. We are making our dream in the future, agriculture, livestock, forestry, environment, etc. to have a university in Thailand, Philippines, US or something like that. This is our program. And allow me to introduce Dr. Dumrong, a biography. Dr. Dumrong, Lina Naruska, has got PhD degree from University of Sydney. And he is a formerly academic at the Kasasa University and Major University, Thailand. He was working as Vice President for Planning, Major University from 1988 to 2002. He specialized in dairy management and production. In 2007, he is doing research on the competitiveness of Thai dairy industry in the GMS Greater Sub-Mekong region, namely Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. And 2008 to present, he is helping Myanmar on encouraging the country to establish Bachelor of Science courses on animal production and campaigning on higher education reform to change the university in Myanmar to be comprehensive university. So he has got a lot of Myanmar friends over there. He now attending. So Dr. Dumrong, time is yours. Please go ahead. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nyoje, and Mingalaba to all of my friends and Myanmar good friend and supporter, especially the group from Myanmar Livestock Federation and my Thai colleagues and friends and students. The one that I'm going to talk or to outline to you today is to strengthening livestock production in Myanmar through manpower development. So let me have next slide, please. Okay, so this is the PDF one, not the Word one that I just sent, but it's okay. So what to strengthening? The answer here is the livestock production system in Myanmar. Yeah, okay. And next, and why? And the answer is Next one, please. Because the production system in Myanmar is so inefficient. Yes, next, please. And how we determine the efficiency of production? When you look at all the production system, the answer is next one, please. The efficiency of production is equal to input divided by output multiplied by 100. So when you measure the input of the system and output, if it's close to equal, that means the efficiency nearly 100. So that is just some kind of simplifying equation for expanding the efficiency. But anyway, when the whole production system, when we talk about efficiency, the question come up that what is the factor that primarily determine the percentage of efficiency or percent of efficiency? I mean, the primary factor. The answer is genetic. And this because in the past 100 years or so, in animal production system, because of science and understanding of the genetic and the statistic and the implication of statistic into genetic, and they develop the science of and technique of animal breeding and selection, and they have improved in yield of meat and milk and egg of the domestic animal, and that become a commercialized system, not as a backyard system, subsistence farming system. Nowadays, the animal production system or livestock production system, it has been improved to be commercial level to gain the efficiency. Next slide, please. And the genetic potential of each animal, normally you can determine, it's determine the capacity to produce. That means the high inheritance of the genetic or good gene have more capacity to produce. The low quality in terms of genetic, very low yield. So you can see if you leave the system into the subsistence or the own time farming system, it will be very, very low efficiency because the genetic of the animal itself, it hasn't been improved. And then you look at the first equation when you study animal breeding in the early subject of animal science, you will come up with the equation. They said genotype equal to phenotype plus E. And normally this E has been assigned as environment factor. I mean, when you study the like animal science 111, the first subject, and they will use this to explain that the genetic of the animal can express, when it's expressed, you call it phenotype. That means like this cow gives 10 kg of milk a day. That's phenotypic character. But that 10 kg per day is really reflecting genetic or the genotype or not, depend on E. That means if you feed them, you place them in the good environment, according to what they need or satisfy what they need. And they just give you 10 kg of milk. That means the genetic potential is that. Now, E, normally we explain that as environment, but actually it's mean the factors that associate with the production system milieu, which can, I forgot what I read here. Let me, okay, can modify the genetic potential. Okay. So the breed of the animal used in the production system have to be good breed. That's the first thing when you talk about the efficiency of production. Now, I may remind that we're talking about the, we're going to strengthening the livestock production in Myanmar. So the first factor that you need is good breed. Yes, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, when talk about animal breeding and the breed, the science of animal breeding has been developed over several, nearly 100 years. One of the best textbook ever used in animal breeding, not yet, is a book by J.L. Lush, Professor J.L. Lush. Back to yeah. This book has been published in 1943. Animal breeding plan contains a detailed guide on animal breeding designed for students with experience on genetic, embryology, breeds, and stock judging. Yes, next slide, please. Now, Professor J.O. Lush is professor of animal husbandry at Iowa State University. In this picture, Professor J.L. Lush was actually teaching his student, and his student at that time is a Thai student. His name is, at that time, a PhD candidate student, Mr. Jalan Chantarakana. Nobody in Thailand and in animal science, animal husbandry world, especially in Southeast Asia, never heard the name of Professor Chalan Chandralakhana. Now he is retired and emeritus professor of animal husbandry at Kasetsart University. So I just get this to refer to the animal breeding. Okay. Go on. Yes. According to this equation, E, as I mentioned before, that it normally expresses environment, but this actually it means all the factors that associated or determine its production system, milieu, or environment. This all factor can be grouped into two keywords named feed and management. Okay, next one, please. Okay. Now, when we talk about feed, there is a textbook called Feeds and Feeding by Professor Morrison from Cornell, I think. He's a professor of animal husbandry and nutrition from Cornell University. And this textbook is one of the most used in animal science study. And this feed and feeding will be the second or third subject that we study when you study animal science or animal husbandry in the curriculum. Next one, please. Okay. Now, when talk about feed, this keyword represents the sign of feed and feeding as historically outlined by Professor Mollison. It represents the knowledge on the feed and its qualities, production from farm to industrial level. Therefore, we have good breed of animal and good feed. Then what we need more is good management. Next one, please. In management, this factor represents the well-rounded knowledge of raising the animal in the non-stressful production system. That means you have to understand the animal need on the environmental factor to keep them in a well-being state for good production, for the good breed of animals to consume good and proper feeds, for them to keep the production level or efficiency up to their genetic potential. So the management, this keyword, it covers all of the management system in the farm, financial management, health and sanitation management on the farm. Next slide, please. In my second year as animal husbandry graduate study, undergraduate study, because the first year we study all the basic of agriculture in Kasetsat. We study all the basic of agriculture subject, right? Horticulture, foliage, crop, crop science, whatever, the basic agriculture, and that's in the first year, and some more basic subject. Anyway, we studied the first subject on animal husbandry only in the first semester of the second year when I was a sophomore. And the subject is basic animal science husbandry or animal science husbandry 111, right? And on the first hour of the lecture, my past professor, Dr. Suchip Latalasan, Dr. Suchip Latalasan, he was one of the authority on the pig farming, swine side in Thailand. He presented a symbol in his lecture consisting of a triangle with 3 different words written on each apex of the triangle. He said, this is a symbol of animal husbandry or animal production sign triangle. Next, please. Here, the triangle, you have breed on the top, we have feed on one side, and management. And this triangle, we call it animal husbandry triangle. If you look at the symbol of animal science or Animal Husbandry Association of Thailand, at the background, there is one yellow triangle like this, which is mean this triangle of animal husbandry or animal science. Next, please. Okay. From this triangle of animal husbandry, these 3 keywords have been subdivided into several subjects in the curriculum of Bachelor of Science in Animal Husbandry or Animal Production. Since the feed for the production of ruminants animal mostly need to grow on farms. The basic knowledge on pasture-side, forage, crop production, and some basic agriculture subjects are necessary or benefit to the students of animal husbandry course. Then the graduate from the course will be a professional person to serve the livestock production sectors to cover the need of the livestock system. But even you work on poultry and pig sector, you still have to feed the animal with the grain, the cereal, things like that. And you have to deal with the ingredients. The knowledge on this is the basic that also important. Say if you animal science student and you want to work or you get a job in animal feed mill, you have to deal with the ingredients for the feed. You have to deal with the buying, the quality assurance, the blah, blah, blah. Anyway, next slide, please. In 2008, at the annual general meeting of Myanmar Livestock Federation in Yangon, I have a good chance that a group of my friends in MLF support my research work that Professor Michel just mentioned, that I did one research work on 2007. And the research work at that time, the title is Competitiveness of Thai dairy industry in GMS. That means I have to compare the Thai dairy industry to Myanmar, to Laos, to Vietnam, to Cambodia. So that means I have to travel with my colleagues to all of these countries and collect the data and study and evaluate, get the data to evaluate, to compare the competitiveness of our industry to those countries. In Myanmar, it's one of the countries that I spend more time in my study. And at that time, I have a feeling that it's like my second hometown country. I really like Myanmar at that time. And I have a feeling that this country needs some help from me. So, and I got very good support from MLF committee people like the chairman, Mr. Miahan, Dr. Miahan, Dr. Talla, the advisor of the MLF, the Dr. Chilai. At that time, he is a secretary, but now he is the vice president. And Dr. Winnick is now the secretary. Anyway, I have very good support from this group, and they all veterinarian. They understand my point. They understand that what I did on my research work on dairy production in Myanmar is something that helps the country to know the production system, to evaluate the production system. And okay, after I finished in 2007, I think early 2008, I think it's about February, I present my study on Myanmar dairy production system and show that the efficiency of production of Myanmar dairy cattle was very, very low. This can compare to Thailand, and I dare to say or to present that the dairy production system, the efficiency is something like 20-30 years back of Thailand, behind Thailand. And point out that there has been no training on bachelor degree in animal production course. in the system of animal production or livestock production in Myanmar has been, how to say, you have only the veterinarian that learning on this livestock, but they train especially on clinical and medicine and disease control. But they have to do everything to cover all of this animal production system. I told the audience in the AGM at that time that if the country going to open up, because at that time 2008 is still not open up the country yet. No investment from overseas yet, but we can feel at that time that the time will come that the country will open up and then the investment will come from overseas and the big company will invest in the company for livestock. But at that time, they will need a lot of trained specialists on animal production. But they can use only veterinarian. But veterinarian people, they do their good job on clinical, on disease control, the country. I mean, they have to look after all the animal of the country. The veterinarian people itself, or graduate of veterinarian student itself, 100 plus per year, still not enough to look up for the whole country. At that time, I suggest that, well, the country needs to quickly start the course of animal production science. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, in 2013, I have a good chance that my professor from Australia, Professor McDowell, actually is Graham McDowell, Professor McDowell. I asked him, actually, a year before this, I think in 2012, I got a short-term scholarship from major university, a visiting professorship to do the small lecture. And I applied, I asked, actually, if Professor Tinwi was a rector at that time, and is Professor Tinwi, remember, I came to University of Veterinary Science in Yasin to teach the student on animal dairy science for several hours. And at that time, Dr. Winmin from MLF looked after me for all the travel and things. I've been in depth of MLF people because of their very good support there. Anyway, at that time, I make a long distance call to Australia to talk to my professor, Professor McDowell, Graham McDowell, that, oh, please come and help me to help these people, help them to establish this animal science course, because I've been encouraged them for several years and not really success at that time. Not many people get the idea, the people, hey, something like that. And anyway, Professor McDowell got the short-term scholarship from Crawford Fund. It's a Comfort Fund is one of the organization that support all the academic things. Anyway, Professor McDowell got fund from this and then come to Myanmar to help me for 1 week. So on this, the one that I show here, the report of visit to Myanmar by Professor McDowell, it has been written, submit after finish the visit. And this report has been submitted to MLF, submit to Comfort Fund, and I also submit to my university at that time. Anyway, it's very, very limited distribution of this report. And it report what we did in that 7 days. Again, Professor Dr. Winmin is the one that looked after me and Professor McDowell on this trip. We visit in Agriculture University at that time. It's time that Dr. Tintut was a rector. Professor Miojel was a vice rector. And myself and Professor McDowell have presented this to the executive member of the university to encourage them. And they want, they understand, and they appreciate. They really want to establish this into the system in YAU. We also give a talk or visit the University of Veterinary Science, UVS, which is in Yasin area also. And at that time, Professor Tingui, which is joined this meeting at the moment. Professor Tingui kind enough to let us have a meeting with his executive. And at that time, Professor McDowell and I encouraged them to join and help YAU, share resources to open up the mind, and then helping each other to train or to establish the course. Whoever is ready to take the student or to do the course, but should share resource. Anyway, the system in Myanmar at that time, since you have two ministry, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Livestock, and the command line is separate. Yes, in Agriculture University, report to Agriculture Ministry. UVS, University of Veterinary Science, report to Livestock Ministry. So there's a line that no crossing over. Agriculture is plant, not animal at that time. So something like this make it impossible for the joining hand between these two universities. Anyway, because of the system, because of the bureaucrat or whatever the system there. But we have a successful visit at that time. Professor McDowell, after going back to Australia, his health is deteriorated. He got emphysema and cannot come to Myanmar to help me anymore. Which I have actually in the trip in 2019. I came again with Kasetsart University, and the president of Kasetsart University at that time came with me to support, try to help YAU to exhibit the course, but that before the COVID, and it's not working. And at that time, Professor McDowell, the health is deteriorated. Anyway, Next slide, please. Now, around 1 year later, 2014, UVS has offered BSc course in animal production science, and the first batch of students has been taken. And up to now, I think there are 8 or 9 batch of the student of animal science has been produced already from UVS. And what I heard is this group of animal of the student, they perform very good, and they has been welcomed by the industry. Some of them even get good job in overseas, in Korea, in Japan. What I suggest more is, since after my trip and professor on 2014, in 2019, I with the support of the president of Kasetsart University, that really want to help Yasin Agriculture University to exhibit the course. So we come and try to help to set up the curriculum. At that time, Dr. Sakon, which is in this room, joined this conference. Dr. Sakon also come to Yasin Agriculture University to help Dr. A. Min to do the curriculum of animal science. What I really want to put for your people, to offer, not offer, to actually to request or to ask, is the future need for the graduates in animal science will be a lot more. In the past several years, I think it's about 70 or 80 graduates of animal science from UVS, which is not enough, still very little. Compared to Thailand, we have about 20 plus university produce animal science graduate. So if you talk about 40, 50, up to 70 students per university, that's a lot. The veterinary school in Thailand, we have about 10 or 10 plus, I'm not sure, university that produce the graduate. We still don't have enough, not enough. So in Myanmar, you have only one university that produce veterinarian graduate, 100 plus heads per year. Professor McDowell already mentioned in 2014 to Professor Tingui in our meeting that you still don't have enough veterinarian in the country. You need a lot more. That's why I and Professor McDowell also wrote an article published in Myanmar Times and in Frontier in English in Myanmar to encourage to reform the university system to be comprehensive university, that you can use the university system more efficient. Anyway, we talk it later. And the future need for the graduate in animal science will be a lot more. Yasin Agriculture University, which has been planned to offer the course for several years before, should be given the support from the policy level to produce the graduate, emphasizes on ruminant animal farming system and forest crop production. So Why US already produce animal science student, but if yes in agriculture university, YAU want to produce the course on this, to produce the student on animal science, you can make the curriculum strong on the forage crop, on the ruminant production system, more related to the agriculture science production. So I offer that the future cooperation between UVS and YAU on sharing teaching staff and joining lecture on some subject are encouraged. Nowadays, both of these universities are under the same ministry now, because it's merging of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock to be one. Even the line of command still have two permanent secretary look after. It's like just shipping it and put it next to each other, but the line of command still separate. Yes, next slide, please. Now, my professor, this one is wrong. Professor Graham H.G.H. McDowell. Anyway, it has the MLF has been collected, but I just used the wrong one to present here. Professor McDowell has been passed away late last year. Anyway, MLF, before he passed away, at that time, Professor McDowell has been in the situation of terminal ills, and Myanmar Livestock Federation very kind support to cheer up him, to give him honor for his health. Come to help Myanmar. Even his health at that time still not very good. You can see at that time that he coughed all the time. Anyway, thank to Professor McDowell, my mentor and my professor, and he really is the one that understand me and understand my inside. So that's why he sacrificed his health to help me. Thanks. Next slide, please. Now, further sharing resource and the staff between UVS and YAU will be greatly benefit to livestock industry. Moreover, if the comprehensive university system, which Professor Melchior is also very keen interest on this, but the system is still not allowed yet to have this big reform, because that's overhaul all of the system. You have very spotty university, university of medicine, university of nursing, university of those and this, subject-based university. But this system is not efficient. A comprehensive university, you have one organized, one management unit, but manage many faculty, slight manage 10 or 20 university under one management system, sharing so many facility on this. So when you calculate it, the overhead of the management system is very cheap. So this is very efficiency system. So up to the people, actually a lot of people in this room, the past rector, the authoritative in many academic area, you should persist and convince the policy level that university system in Myanmar have to change now. You cannot just let it go on like this. This will be great reform and great strengthening of the higher education system in Myanmar. Sorry, I'll show you something. Heterophysio, that is from Pachan Palito, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Cause and effect. So you have to do the right cause to get the right effect. To reform your comprehensive university system to be true, you have to do the right cause. Maybe to you people. Next one, please. Now, in that Pachan, you in one part of it, you find this. Adipati Pachiyo. Adipati Pachiyo Ati. Yes. Now, I show this to you because I want to bring these words. Next one, please. Sanda. Sandadipati. Next, please. Next. Go on. Next. I want to emphasize Sanda, which in Thailand we call Chanta. It comes from Pali. Next slide, please. Chanda or Sanda in Myanmar, the driving force that had led to the success of the work. This is a quality of mind called Sanda, expressed in Buddhism as will or aspiration for the sake of the accomplishment of one's own idea, not for one's self-design. So no attachment of your ego. When you do things, do work, if you want the things to be benefit to the country, you have to do it without your desire for your attachment, my university, my career, my, those, my, this. Next slide, please. Yeah, next, please. And the word in English has similar meaning to Sanda, is public mind or altruism, which is described by Wikipedia as principle or practice of concern for the welfare of others. It is a traditional virtue in many cultures and the core aspect of various religious traditions through the concept of other toward whom concern should be direct can vary among cultures and religion. Altruism or selflessness is the opposite of selfishness. All of the Buddhism in Myanmar, I think you study this, but sometimes in the actual world, in the lay work, at the work atmosphere, or because of the environment, you forget to think that the Buddha teaching about this. And I have been very, very lucky that my master, my Upachaya, emphasize and teaching Sanda in his teaching in Thailand. Go on, please, next slide. Now, if a person had Chanta or Chanda in Myanmar, Sanda, as one internal driving force, the desire of the person will be led toward the sake of accomplishment of the work rather than to fulfill one or serve one's self-interest. Next, please. Now, in conclusion, the manpower development as an aim to strengthen the Myanmar livestock production in near future needs the cooperation of UVS and YAU under the mentoring of the Myanmar Livestock Federation, MLF, as well as the support from the policy level to produce more animal production science graduates with some agriculture-based knowledge. This can be achieved only if the people in those mentioned institutions work together with Sanda. Next slide, please. Thank you kindly for letting me have this opportunity to talk to you. This year, I become 70 years old, and I have a feeling that I should tell all of my colleagues in Thailand, my students, my friends, that there are some work in Myanmar that I still haven't finished. Your people still haven't finished. We still need to join hands together with Dr. Biahan, the chairman of Livestock Federation, will be a good mentor on this. And in Thailand, we have Animal Husbandry Association, Mr. Suthep. Actually, he has been invited and he committed to come, but suddenly he has been, it's a news that his the mother of his close friend died, so he has to join the funeral tonight as a chairman of the function. So he also asked me to apologize to the organizer, to Dr. Miljer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dumrong. You have very informative and then very short to the point what we need to do in the future. So anyway, this is a discussion portion. Stop sharing the level. So if you want to discuss on the Professor Dumrong discussion, please raise your hand, and then we will discuss both Myanmar and Thailand. Any people, any colleague, we have 46 people now attending the webinar, this program, and also we have live stream in Facebook. You can watch. Okay, Mr. Downtot. Mr. Downtot is from Singapore. Okay, please.
Hi, thanks, Professor Dr. K. Kun Dumrong. You can call me Thomas, and I have graduated from Yizin Agriculture University since 1987. Now I'm working in Singapore. Yeah, Yeah, I really appreciate to learn from you that the basic animal breeding theory, right? But I'm not so sure about those genotypes is equal to phenotypes versus environmental progressions. But nevertheless, I'm very interested in your animal husbandry triangle breeding. Yes, you are very correct that we need feeding and breeding, which is very simple. But management, that's is still a lot of questions. Okay, my questions, I have two questions for you. Okay, my first question is that you have said the efficiency of the Myanmar dairy productions proficiency is very low, which is you study in 2008, right?
Right.
Yeah, 2008, right? And also there's no training in that area. Of course, we have a veterinary science university and so on. Okay, my question is, may I know your opinion on the Myanmar dairy productions, the sector, right? What are the necessary action that we should start to implement as a first step? Okay, that will be my first question, yeah? Second question is, okay, I'm surprised to know that you have in Thailand 20 university produce graduates every year, right? So my question here is, what kind of the job opportunities that those fresh graduates in Thailand every year, they have it? That's my second question.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Dumrong.
Okay. The first question, actually, in my 2008 presentation to the AGM of the MLF meeting, I also point out that since the production efficiency is very, very low, the overall milk yield per cow is around 4-5 kg a day.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And most of the system is subsistent. That means the animals scavenging, no pasture, no proper pasture, nobody growing plants for the making pasture for the dairy cattle. And sometimes they don't even get any supplement at that time. And I've been to many farms in Mandalay area, Chukse, around Yangon. And in 2007, only one farm have milking machine. One farm.
Milking machine.
Milking machine.
I see.
Only one farm. And that one is very, very old and inefficient and been adapt those and this. And you have to understand that at that time, because of the system of the country, the closed system, and then people, the economic is very depressed. I have make a suggestion, short-term improvement, what MLF or the country should do. The short term is to feed the animal more properly, using the existing population. You get more yield if you feed them more feed. And the long term, improve the breed by AI, artificial insemination, with the high yield dairy breed like black and white or whatever, to bring the genetic to go up, upgrading. That's a long term. That is what I suggest in 2008, my presentation. And even nowadays, and after that, I mean, after the country opened up, and then Dr. Kilai can tell you. Dr. Kilai, he used to be the chairman of Dairy Association of Myanmar, and he is in this room too. Dr. Kilai also very close to me at that time, very good supporter, helped me a lot on my research. I've been to the farm of the farmer that supply milk to his factory. He owned a factory in Myanmar, in Yangon. And after the country opened up, the development getting better, but not as quick as it can be. During the government of Thein Sein and Suu Kyi, you can see the big jump on the development of the dairy. Many people get trained. Dr. Kilai organized a training course with Thai government. Each year, I think it's about 3-4 courses, and then some of my students, Dr. Skon, which is in this room, came to Myanmar to help teaching the farmers under the support of the also called the DPO, Dairy Farming, the Dairy Promotion Organization of Thailand. Yeah. He been to Myanmar many times. Dr. Ampon also come to help. So it's a big jump and then improve in dairy production. And I've been lecturing to many farmers several times during this period.
So is that the training is on feeding or management or breeding?
All of that.
All of them, I see.
All of them. Dr. Sakon might come more on breeding. Yeah, he emphasized on breeding. Dr. Ampon come and help. At that time, he worked at Forest Crop Station. So he's the one that introduced Napier Pak Chong to forage to Myanmar. So at the moment, if you go to the dairy farm, Napier Pak Chong class that introduced by Dr. Ampon from Thailand. Every farm in Myanmar use this nowadays. Very high yield and efficiency. Now, okay, for the improvement of dairy production is a lot to talk, and I think the Thai people and many of my staff and my colleagues will come to help in the future a lot more. But your second question about the job of the Thai student that graduate from animal science.
Condi University, yeah, you have.
20 plus university, multiplied by say 50. 20 multiplied by 50, that's 1,000.
100,000.
Now 1,000. 20 by 50.
Oh.
1,000 graduates
1,000 graduates a year.
Yeah,
Per year.
I see.
So it's 1,000 plus head per year of graduate on animal
yes.
science in Thailand. What they do? Who employ them? All of them get job or not? One day they graduate, they apply for job in the industry, right? Many company in Thailand, and some of my students that sit in this room, Mr. Alongkorn, also my student at Kasetsat, when I teach at Kasetsat.
Yeah.
Alongkorn doing master degree in Kasetsat, and then after that he worked in the field with the company for a while, and he established his company called Feed Focus. Nowadays his company is one of the big company on animal feed supplement, and he can tell you more.
Okay, thank you.
And many students that once they come from from the farmer background. When they finish, they go back and work in dairy farm, work in their father farm, or they employ in the farm as a farm hand. Many jobs.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Some of my students even
Okay.
went to Malaysia to work in dairy farm.
Okay,
see.
thank you. We have 3 people are raising the hand. So
Okay.
first, Saji Dr. Tingwei, and then followed by Dr. Nonati and Dr. Tala. Say Dr. Tingwei, please. Yeah. Mm.
Good evening to Dr. Dumrong. Thank you very much. Firstly, for your nice presentation of this tonight. I think we have not been met for 10 years, and we call back us for the past very nice past time, and secondly, your goodwill, interest, effort, time, and energy sharing for development of animal science in Myanmar is very greatly appreciated and acknowledged.
Thank you.
And now, as you
Really
mentioned in your presentation, we have already the BSc Animal Science course, and then I think that we have also graduated some summer batch. It's a second. Thirdly, would like to current situation of our the animal science, UVS, and also the agriculture, because as you mentioned, formerly we have 2 separate ministries, but now recently we have the same ministry, and that I think we can do much more than former times. Yes, I think it's a quote. And we have already retired from our office work. We can't have any, not so much effort to intervene the working authorized person. But in my personally, I am giving the lectures on the animal science in the coordination with Dr. A. Mien, the professor of the animal science of the Agricultural University, and then also I'm the visiting professor of the Agricultural University Animal Science, and sponsored by the rector of the Yezin Agricultural University. That's one. Another one is we are coordinated with Dr. Mutual in the Golden Plain Livelihood, the NGO, and then we are cooperated with the training programs, the livestock, the agriculture coordination, integration. That's a very big, I think, issue for our effort of the Golden Plain. And then another one is that we have a chance to meet His Excellencies of 2 Deputy Minister of the Agriculture, Livestock, Irrigation. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we deeply requested to minister to the deputy ministers to develop the pasture development in Myanmar, because we're facing a very roughish insufficiency for the dairy production. And then that's my acknowledge to Dr. Dumrong. And now it's not my question, but just a request. And, how to develop in the Thailand for the development of pasture, especially for the small scale farmers. And this something just you have said in Nivea Pachao, like that. So as we have been informed that the small scale farmers are developing cultivating their pastures in their fields. But in Myanmar, I think some of the decision makers are thinking about it. A pasture is just not as a crop. So if they want to cultivate the pasture, is very wasting, they think. So that's, I think that's why I presented a seminar in the Golden Plate.
Yeah.
The grass is a crop.
Yeah.
The grass is not a waste. Grass is not wheat. It's a grass crop. So I think if you can mention about the how to develop, how to cultivate the pasture development in Thailand for the, especially for the small scale farmers. Thank you, Dr. Dumrong. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Please answer. Yeah.
Thanks for all the kind words and then for the questions. For pasture development, actually, you have to really understand the concept behind. Right? To go in class is just agriculture practice. You just get the stock and then you just plant and then you look after and you get pasture. And that is agricultural practice, which is normal things. But to convince the farmers, especially the dairy farmer, to understand the value of the class. Yeah. Professor McDowell, that my professor, used to present his presentation in our MLF after we visit your university in Yangon. He present about Professor McClymont from New England University, which developed the Faculty of Rural Science. Professor McClymont is actually he was a veterinarian, but he the one that established the Faculty of Rural Science, which agriculture based and animal science based activity. He have a saying that grass is fresh. Meat come from grass. That means you raise the dairy cow. They produce milk, the product that they need to change into milk, it feed. You, the ruminant nutritionist, you understand this. And this feed for the dairy cattle, which is ruminants, it needs roughage, at least 50% in terms of diameter.
Mm.
That's something that cannot avoid.
Mm.
Many people think they have a good dairy cow. They will buy good pellet to give to dairy cow to change to milk. And in not many days, the system collapsed because the animal of feed, because the digestive system get trouble because too high of the concentrate feed. They get bored, they get indigestion, they get those and this. So that's something that people read. They want to change the feed to milk without understanding the need of grass or roughage. Because the function of the rumen of the system need at least 50% of the roughage in the system. And this has to come from grass. Now, if the animal have high yield, they need more feed. But if you feed them with low quality grass, it will fill up the tummy, but very low in quantity of the nutrition value. So animal didn't get enough for milk production according to their genetic potential or the phenotype. So the phenotype or the expression is lower yield, poor body condition, get sick, not very weak, and then maybe just die. Most of the high yield dairy cow will die easily after calving in the first 2 months of lactation. Now, to get the farmer to grow grass, to make pasture, you need to train them. not train to cultivate, but train the mind to rethink about the feeding system, feed and feeding. So that is a sign of feed and feeding that have to understand. So once you understand this, no way that they're going to avoid growing good pasture, because that's a cheap feed. Once they make a good pasture and then they cultivate them well and they get good yield and cut them at the right time with the high proportion of nutrition, and then the cow consume it and then produce more milk and need less concentrate, which is very expensive in the feeding system. If you have more good quality grass, you use less concentrate supplement. In the feed and feeding system, in Morrison book that I suggest, I show you. In the former time, when they feed the dairy cow, they just get the cow into the pasture, get the good quality grass and legume. They have Lucerne in America, so good quality, but we can't grow it in tropic area. Anyway, sometimes the high yield cattle, they eat good quality grass. When they come back, they still don't have enough from the grass, so they have to supplement. So the concentrate feed, it's come from supplement feeding. But later on, we are the victim of the people that sell concentrate feed. Because they try to encourage the farmer to use the concentrate feed. Sometimes they just encourage people to use poor quality residue. So the farmer sometimes get used to, and they just collect the straw and the residue, the corn something that fibrous residue, and then they think about give them some of this poor quality lafage, and then they get pellet feed concentrate. But they don't understand that they pay a lot of money on the concentrate. If they produce the good quality grass, they'll use maybe half or even just quarter of the concentrate, because it's just the supplement, not the main source of food, of feed to the cattle. So to change, to get the people, first thing to get the people to produce, to make more pasture, it's easy. Get them change their mindset.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We still have two people, and also I would like to request the people, the colleague from Thailand. You can also give some sort of your comments. Somebody, Dr. Dononatin. Unmute, please unmute, and then go ahead. Your question or discussion. Yes.
Very good evening, or something like I had to say, Mingalava. I think I need to introduce by myself first, because you will not recognize me, because I take retirement in the year 2013 as a director in University of Veterinary Science. Before that, I worked as a head of the department, animal husbandry. After my retirement in Myanmar, I continue as a senior lecturer in University of Malaysia, London also. But during my how to say service, I teach the student the animal relating with the animal husbandry subject mostly. Actually, I want to learn and I want to confirm from you regarding with the equation, the basic animal breeding theory. For many decades, we use the equation is phenotype is equal to genotype and environment, because phenotype is as a result of organism's genotype itself and by environment. So we use the phenotype is equal to genotype and environment. Here I notice genotype is equal to phenotype and environment. So I want to confirm and I want to learn from.
Understand? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I use the maybe I use my student Dr. Sakon also asked me, hey, is there some trick there for the equation? And I still didn't realize, because I just want to use that equation to lead to the triangle. So I'm not going to talk about the breeding theory.
Yeah.
So actually, you're right. The phenotype
It's equal to
genotype plus
and environment.
environment. Yeah,
That is, I want to confirm and
yeah,
learn from.
you're right. Thanks for correcting me.
Thank you.
But I just want to show that the genetic potential of animal can express fully only you satisfy the need. I also explained to Dr. Scon about that I just bring this equation. Yeah, use it wrong. My interpretation is wrong. Was has been wrong, right?
I want to confirm and learn from.
But my aim is, actually, I didn't tell you that there is one rich man from Ireland, Irish people. He owned a company called Mastock. Mastock International is a big company, Irish-owned company, and this company established a farm in Saudi Arabia. Join hand, share with the Prince of Saudi Arabia, build a big dairy farm in the deserts, and they grow alfalfa in the desert. And the magazine, the management magazine, went to interview Mr. Alistair McKagan. Hey, why you so brave, so that to bring the dairy cattle from Europe to the desert and then raise them there, produce milk there, and you get the same yield that they produce in Europe, in the home country. Mr. Alistair McKagan said, cow. That means each cow. Once, if they're good cow, regardless that they're keeping in Ireland or in Saudi Arabia or in Asia, if you raise them, feed them, manage them to get all their satisfaction, to stay happily, not stressed, without disease or good disease control, they will produce according to their potential.
Yeah.
But that means if in this case the E factor equals 0, so make G equal to P. So the phenotype express 100% according to the genetic. So I just want to bring this point. That's all.
Okay.
I didn't try to use that to explain the genetic theory. Yeah, Dr. Scon called me this morning and asked me, "Hey, is that a trick behind this?" And I didn't realize at that time. Yeah, I told him that no, I just want to bring the issue to the triangle. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for correcting.
Okay, after Syed Dr. Danla question, the people, our colleagues from Thailand, you can also give some. Syed Dr. Danla, please.
Yes, yes. Very good evening to all the participants. My appreciation to the Dr. Muche, or your golden plane, you see, was able to organize this knowledge sharing, you see, forum. And also, I think I have a very long association with Dr. Dumrong, especially in 2008. I was away, not in Myanmar. So the first part of his endeavor, I was not one of the participants. But in the later part, I realized he was trying tirelessly to advocate this animal science degree course in agriculture university, any agriculture university. So I strongly support him because of, although I'm a vet, but my earlier work was very much associated with animal production because I was specialized in animal reproduction, especially. And I was even given the task of developing the artificial insemination towards embryo transfer, you see, in non-surgical embryo transfer technique, you see. My attempt was done in 1985. So we did a good job of getting a calf, you see, out of our own effort without any external assistance. But later on, a Canadian project came in 1985, and they realized that we have done quite something with the embryo transfer. So they returned back bilateral assistance, you see, because of our strong relationship between during the World Bank project, because we have a very strong relationship with Canadian CMEX company, and we import a lot of frozen semen from Canada, so much so that they noticed that Canada has done a good trading deal with this Myanmar country. So they in return they offer a project in animal, especially animal production area. So that's how we got this livestock development project, which include artificial insemination and embryo transfer as well. Because based on our achievement, they want to assist, you see, to further develop it. But we didn't ever advertise much, you see, about our effort. So very little people know about our embryo transfer effort. Actually, we have done almost 10 calf, you see, of excellence breed, you see, using Canadian top bull semen and with the cow of the dairy cow of the Pima band, 100% Holstein farm. We got 10 calf, but because of frequent change in the government, you see, management system, they try to go back to more commercialization of farming instead of that was always almost a model farm, I think, Pimabe, which because with the ideas of earlier management personnel who want to import 100% pure Holstein, raise it, you see, and want to show that Myanmar has such capacity of, you see, pure Holstein from pure Frisian from Australia and New Zealand. You see, imported by flight. And out of those cows, we did some actually it was no longer experiment. We tried to do some on-farm transfer. And percentage-wise, we were not very good yet. But anyhow, we were able to get about 10 calf out of embryo transfer. And those was on a selective female with a very special semen. But those calf could not be well maintained because of the policy change, you see. Instead of keeping the record, you see, all the record keeper, which was trained by Israeli experts, was, you see, transferred to other farm. And so the record cannot maintain, and somehow, and all this was lost, you see. So it's a lot of effort, you see, would just disappear or due to some circumstances. Anyway, yeah, okay. That's I just want to explain my background and why I am so enthusiastic for supporting Dr. Dumrong. And with the visit to Canada, I got one experience, because in Canada, all the artificial breeder station back in 1970, 1960, 1970, in those days, all the center was managed by a veterinarian, because during the earlier phase of AI, those who can produce a better quality semen, plus those how to manage the infertility problem in the cows are the expert, you see, who should lead the center. But starting 1980 onwards, that position has changed. They have to make way to the geneticists. Instead of vet manage the center, all the centers was almost managed by geneticists, because selecting a best bull is the most important thing for an AI center, because a best bull semen you can fetch about $20 to $50 per straw, but average straw is about $2-3, $5 at most. So that makes a lot different, 10 times, you see, when a geneticist can decide, you see, the best bull, and every farmer become interested in that bull, and that, you see, center immediately make profit out of that. So geneticists become the leaders of artificial breeding business. That's how I realized that, oh, they are very important guy. Huh? So, and genetics is quite a complex thing. I attended one seminar. I could not, you see, understand what they were talking about. They were citing a very complicated formula and trying to evaluate all those records. Oh, it's a lot of you see backgrounds needed, you see, such a decision. That's why, you see, these people become more important with the that's my own experience. So I have to support Dr. Dumrong, naturally. What he tried to make, you see, the change, this academic thing is, yes. I supported him, and
yes,
I was one of his strong supporter. Yes, and in fact, you see, along with that, Yizhen University was able to make TVM, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine course, and another Bachelor of Animal Science course. That was quite advanced, you see. That is quite advanced, I think. But gradually, of course, Myanmar gradually will come along, like Thailand, maybe from one university. In the very near future, there may be two vet university or 2 agriculture university. It will come along. I think we need a proper guidance, you see, proper path for development, you see. And after all, these the whole animals industry, you see, need not only academic people, you see, entrepreneur, venture capitalists, technicians, all these are, you see, are necessary, you see, to make development. Yes.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think the Dr. Yanin or Dr. Longkom or Dr. Skon, do you have any idea to support Dr. Dumrong? I just want to prioritize to the people from Thailand. You want to say something? Yes, please.
Yes, Dr. Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Could I share some slide? I mean, 2 or 3 slides for talk to support Dr. Dumrong. I would like to have a permission to share.
By sharing.
Screen.
I see.
Yes.
Dr.
Yeah, I will share.
Milkai,
Okay.
can you, Dr. Aini or Dr.
Yeah.
Aini or Dr. Milkai, can you
Yeah,
make
I
it
will
Dr.
share.
Skon?
Yeah.
Co-host to be Yamla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see?
No. To co-host to be Yamla. To co-host to be.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Skon want to share his
Dr. Skon go lose be Yamla. Twila.
Telecom na.
Dr. Skon, Eli. Co-host to be.
SKORN
ဒီမှာလေ
ညီမကလောက်ရမယ်ထင်တယ် host က
ဟာညီမက host ပြုတ်သွားတယ်မီးပြတ်သွားတာမှာလေ
ပြတ်သွားတယ်
ညီမ host
My
ပြုတ်
hand.
ဒီကပဲလောက်ရမှာ
ဟုတ်
လုပ်မှရမှာလုပ်တတ်တယ်နော် yes you will do
တွေ့ပြီဆရာ
ဟုတ်ပြီ
ဒီကို host ရ
yes yeah you are co-host now you can share now you're fine
I see.
can you share
Yes. Yes.
okay
Just a few slides. Did you see the slide?
yes we see yeah
Yes, actually this slide, can you see?
yes
yes but please full
Okay.
screen show full screen yes
yeah okay
Yes.
Good.
Actually, I just leave my back on my presentation to Myanmar.
all right
I don't know, Dr. Khin Lai invited me there in 2019. Okay, that time I'm talking about how to improve production efficiency and also genetic of the dairy cattle there. So based on Dr. Dumrong talks, I heard some question and listen to Dr. Dumrong respond, and I just would like to confirm his talk that actually if you would like to make a efficiency return of investment from daily production, you need to balance between genetics, management, and feed together. Otherwise, you cannot. Why? Because if you think about the industrial of the dairy production, the genetic is likely a production unit. If you provide a high efficiency production unit, actually it requires a high quality feed and appropriate management. But if you lost some of them, I mean poor nutrition or poor management, even you have a great genetic from anywhere in the world, you cannot get enough income from your investment. So this is just a simple concept, okay? And the other thing is the equation that we talked many times tonight is about P equal to G plus E. Actually, I present this to many group of Myanmar people already. Some of them participate in this meeting. I just remember the name, okay? P equal to G plus E, but it's not just simple like that. Okay, if we talk about animal husbandry, if we want to get enough income from phenotype, we need to care most about both, not either genetics or environment itself, but both of them. Why? Because the genetic will express unless it leads to what it requires, which it means feed and management. So both of them are cost and investment. And if we provide them enough and suitably, we will get income. And if we consider both sides of the equations, that means the profit that we would like to have. People who understand it will manage them well. Why? Because they understand the animal itself, I mean genetics, individually, and also their management under their limitation and condition, not the other farm, but their farm only, okay? And talking about the genetic improvement in Myanmar, what you require is not the individual farm, but also the system that you would like to create, a kind of consortium that combine the government, university, private sector, and also the other, I mean, the farm, small size farm, medium size farm, and large size farm. And then you try to set a national database system. Not, I mean, not many of them, but as you require, I mean, as you need it. Suppose you need to record just only pedigree and also some of the trait like milk yield or milk composition or even reproductive efficiency. We have been obstructed by not having those records many years ago. Currently, we still have that kind of problem, but we better enough because some of the farm by membership of the government and also the dairy farming promotion organizations of Thailand, they record pedigree and performance to do a progeny test. And if you apply that into your regions, I mean, many regions of the Myanmar, and you gather some of the information and evaluate those cattle by your own data, you will see some like this. Either your daily cattle population for the whole country or the regions improves or not. How are they improved? Genetically or by phenotypically? Okay, this is actually the information from Thailand. And what fraction that most appropriate to your condition, I mean, environmental conditions, larvage conditions, and ability to provide high quality of larvae during the year times conditions, something like that. So you can see what fraction, either purebred Holstein or high fraction of Holstein in your country. Or even you talk about imported great genetic from outside, either United States, Canada, or Europe. If you have that daughter in your Myanmar country, and you gather information enough, you will see like this. Not all of the bulls that you import that semen are better or provide better genetic in your condition. Just some of them. But the question is, who is those bull? And how can you decide for genetic improvement across the country by spread out those high genetic bull fit to your condition? It cannot be any bull from outside that better than your bulls inside the country. But some of them, yes, but some of them might not be like that, okay? This is just for example. And something that you will earn from your data, you have many regions, and your region is, I mean, widely ranged more than in Thailand. We are plain area in the middle part, and in the southern part, we have hot, high, and humid condition. In the northern part, it's likely a hill tribe. But in your country, upper level than us. So you can see the information that if it is indicated to genotypic by region, you can spread the great genetic to the specific region by your own record. So this help a lot to your brand. I just would like to show some of this because I need to support Dr. Dumrong that the basic information that you need is your data from the Myanmar daily cattle individually. Otherwise, we talk until we left out, and then the next generation come, they still talk about this. So please consider this. If there is anything that we could help, we're willing to do that, following Dr. Dumrong's footsteps. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Because you said you have produced more than 1,000 undergraduate. So maybe you may have master research on animal production. So many PhD research. I know that. Anyway, Dr. Yanin or Dr. you want to say something? Dr. Dumrong, yes, please.
Dr. Muriel, you should ask Dr. Sakon how many PhD students under his.
I know, right?
Actually, one of Myanmar students just graduated from me for master degree.
That's good.
She currently works for Myanmar government.
Okay.
Kin Sula.
It is under your supervision.
She graduated from.
Unlock your iPhone first.
Okay.
She graduated from Jesuit Veterinary University.
Okay, thank you. Because we need to have. I and Dr. Dingwe, we have dream. Hopefully. Anyway, Dr. Yanin, because we met Dr. Yanin from Major University.
Hi.
I think just have some point. I think from tonight, and I think you already got two great experts already, both of them. So in terms of nutrition and breeding, I think and I agree of both of them. But please remind that even Thai has a lot of progress and new technique, anything. But still, in Thailand, we still have a small scale farmer also. And please learn our Thai experience. We have a successful projects, and also we have an unsuccessful project also. Please don't look at only the good one or the successful one. Please remind that you have to learn a lot from our experience. And also I think last year we lost a lot of farms lost their or collapse or lost their farm because of the high price or high cost of the feed according to the petrol high. So I think that's why Professor Dr. Dumrong said that the feed is quite important also. The breed important and feed also important because 50 or 60% is the cost of production is from the feed. So that's why that one gonna be a quite important thing, both of them. So that was my point. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Maybe next time, Dr. Dumrong, I will request some of you to give the lump sum of the KSP program in the future. Okay. Thank you. Anybody from our side or Myanmar or Myanmar or from your side? Anything you want to say something?
May I ask one question to Dr. Skon? Yeah, I think
Yes.
as you pointed out that this recording is the main, backbone for the genetic development and also measurement of genetic merits of your animal. And I have tried, in my time, but I was not able to achieve. Partly, maybe we are lacking, in terms of human resources. And also the early stage of industry, as Dr. Dumrong point out, efficiency, productivity, everything is quite low compared to the Thailand. So how long it take, to establish that data recording system from Thai experience?
From Thai experience, from what I have been participated, actually we start working with this in 1996, and we spent about 2 or 3 years to accumulate all available information and we screen out of the information that cannot be used at that time, and we come up with about 300 to 400 cows at that time in just a couple organizations. But we try to promote the importance of gathering data, not just only for genetic merit evaluation, but also for the evaluation of the situations of the farm, and also planning for making high efficiency of reproduction. I mean, the cow need to pregnant before giving milk, so that is most important, that challenge the farmer to follow our promotion to keep their record. And after that, I think, if I remember correctly, about 5 years later, we come up with a science summary for an organization, which means Dairy Farming Promotion Organizations of Thailand, which could be a national science summary. But with the small number of progeny, we cannot claim that. But at least we utilized all available information that we can guarantee that it was the complete data set at that time. So we accumulate data since then until 2015. We come up with about 10,000 cows. And we have a lot of farmers to participate, including the dairy cooperatives in Thailand. So we start thinking about how to increase the accuracy of prediction and how to make the more benefit from what we already have from the farmers based on the individual cow. So we try to expand the utilizations of the data set and also apply with some kind of high technology like genome to likely to challenge both, I mean, the academic people, researcher, cooperatives, governor, and also the farmer themselves. Otherwise, we cannot grow up in terms of data accumulation. If we said the situation clearly, I cannot say that it actually the national data set, because the number of record is equivalent to 3% of the whole country. So that is very, very small when we compare with those developed the reproduction country. So it is our challenge to accumulate more in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Maybe our request. I think time is running out. So I think from the MLF, Myanmar Livestock Federation, anybody wanted to say something? Dr. Tekhain would say, Dr. Kenlai, no. Dr. Myantain, Dr. Tekhain, yeah, please. Okay. So we will have a good interaction. I think anybody last is Dr. Kenlai yes, please.
I would like to say thank you to Dr. Dumrong. Next time I hope once you have been presented last 10 or 12 years ago, the production of one dairy farm compared with you presented with full noble truth.
Okay.
Next time I would like
It's
to
learn
from from you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I think so we will request our people, our colleagues from Thailand, maybe next time, because we still have every Saturday we'll have a KS. So Dr. Dumrong, you want to say something finally, recap or just wrap up the today talk? Yes, please.
Thanks. I think I said enough, and then I think Dr. Sakon has filled up many gaps that I didn't mention. And thanks also to the lady from Malaysia that connect me about.
Yeah.
It's nice. Dr. Sakon told me in the mid-morning before that, is that a joke? And I didn't get it at that time. But anyway, thanks for having me here. And then I really happy and willing to
Yeah.
talk because I actually I get many of my students come to join because I think they will be future helper and mentor of Myanmar. Dr. Sasithorn from Kampeng Sen,
Okay.
my student, and then she graduate, and then she study food science, specialize on dairy and animal product things.
Okay.
You'll get good support from Thailand.
Okay.
Future.
Yeah.
Please just ask them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will request all the colleagues now who from Thailand. I will request for next program. I mean KSP program. You can prepare your PowerPoint. Say that, and then I would like to say very grateful to Dr. Dumrong. You know that like a Buddhist, you are making the wisdom. You are donating the wisdom because I cannot give you the honorarium or whatever. So you just donate your knowledge or education to our people. So, and then we know each other. So we can communicate that we know your email. So I will contact Dr. Sakon, Dr. Alongkon, Dr. Sasiton, or Dr. Janet. I have met Dr. Janet before. So to talk in the future. Okay, thank you. This is the first time in English. And next week, let me explain. Before I finish, I would like to say my academic team. I'm my admin team. The chairman of the Golden Plane. I'm very grateful, and the admin, Dr. Meukai, and other people from Golden Plane who are supporting to finish that one. Siaji, Dr. Tingwei, and myself are now running the online program. Not only agriculture, but also animal husbandry, animal nutrition, agroforestry, environmental conservation. Maybe in the future, we hope we will be able to do the education program, especially vocational education, I hope. Thank you very much. And then next week, we will have a veterinary also people, Dr. Siaji, Dr. Teng Ao. He is going to talk about the biodiversity. But I'm afraid it will be our Myanmar language. Sorry. So we will request you to have, because I have a friend from Germany who is working in animal husbandry and also University of Queensland. So I will request together with Said Dr. So for tonight, I'm very, very thankful. I'm grateful to Dr. Dumrong, my colleague. I hope we will meet because we met in 2019. Just 3 years ago, I visited to Mejo. You remember, so we with Dr. Teju in 2019. I visited Kasasa University in 2020 before the COVID. So maybe I hope Thailand and Myanmar is very not far from each other, and we are thankful to digital technology, ICT technology. So we're very close. We can communicate each other. You can give the lecture from the Thailand, no problem. Something like that. Okay, thank you, Sayi. Dr. Dayan will be talking to. Okay, thank you very much for tonight, and good night. All the best. Sayi, Dr. Dengwei,
Thank you. Bye bye.
Good night. Thank you to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope to see you again. We can communicate.
Good night.
Okay. Next week. Okay.